Think the Inquisitor Marrok is the next big thing in Star Wars? Think again. Turns out this franchise has got a real bad guy problem. The Star Wars franchise has developed a nasty habit of wasting cool characters before they've realized their full potential. If a villainous character is the brooding, silent type, chances are they'll be disposed of pretty quickly. Unfortunately, this trend has continued with Ahsoka, which kills off the mysterious Inquisitor Marrok in Episode 4. The unfortunate moment occurs when Ahsoka Tano slices the Inquisitor's midriff during a chaotic lightsaber battle in a forest. Afterward, Marrok disappears into thin air, presumably to never return again. The green smoke that accompanies his disappearance also suggests that Marrok is a zombie who was created by the Night Sisters of Dathomir, which should end the theory that he's actually Ezra Bridger in disguise. While the nature of Marrok's death serves to enhance the lore of the galaxy far, far away, his exit from Ahsoka feels a little premature. He's essentially the series version of the original Boba Fett and Captain Phasma, both of whom also suffered underwhelming stories in the grand scheme of things. So, does Star Wars have an issue when it comes to creating compelling arcs for its coolest mysterious characters? Let's look at the history, starting with the bounty hunter Boba Fett. His first appearance in The Empire Strikes Back led us to believe that he was going to be a formidable villain, but he turned out to be pretty much useless, as evidenced by his anticlimactic fall into the Sarlacc pit in Return of the Jedi.
Laugh it up, fuzzball.
Similarly, the Star Wars sequel trilogy introduces Captain Phasma as a powerful stormtrooper who seems like she's going to be a constant thorn in Finn and Rey's sides. Unfortunately, Phasma is killed off rather abruptly in The Last Jedi. Of course, the Book of Boba Fett series on Disney Plus and the Phasma novel add more depth to their respective characters' backstories. But that doesn't mean that they weren't wasted from the get-go, and it remains to be seen if Marrok will get his own expanded story down the line. While Ahsoka presents Marrok as a serious threat, his death in Episode 4 means that the show has missed an opportunity to dig into his origins. His association with Morgan Elsbeth and the Daughters of Dathomir implies that he's a Night Brother, a society whose history hasn't really been covered in great detail in the live-action realm of the Star Wars franchise. Everyone loves a little mystery, of course, but the end of Marrok has robbed fans of the perfect vehicle to explore this side of the Star Wars galaxy. Moreover, Marrok is an Inquisitor, meaning that he was once part of an elite death squad and an heir to the Sith. While they aren't full Sith per se, Inquisitors are perfectly capable of using elements of the Force to inflict damage on their opponents. Sadly, Ahsoka doesn't give this villain an opportunity to really showcase his abilities outside of a couple of fight scenes. Ahsoka eliminates him with relative ease too, which just adds to the notion that Marrok was created to be a throwaway character. Granted, it's possible that Ahsoka will unveil more Marrok-esque assassins down the line. Morgan, Baylan Skoll, and Shin Hati need soldiers to aid them in their quest to find Grand Admiral Thrawn, after all. That said, Marrok is an inherently cool character who got fans speculating, and losing him has brought an end to some interesting discourse. And Marrok's death has certainly spurred some fans to share their views. Wanted to use a right? Alas, poor Marrok, we barely knew ye. Another echoed that sentiment, stating that the character had lots of potential to grow and develop. They wrote, "I think a former Inquisitor turned mercenary could be a super cool recurring character in Star Wars lore. Potential for a new Boba Fett level of mysterious badass." That said, while many fans were sad to say goodbye to the Inquisitor, one Redditor believes that Marrok's death is actually quite fitting for someone of his ilk. They wrote, "Can't escape the Inquisitor tradition of going out like a punk against Ahsoka, I guess."